everyone. What do you do first thing in the morning? Do you slide out of bed and shower? Do you start a pot of coffee first thing? How many of you here would say that the first thing you do in the morning is make and eat breakfast? Well, I do. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it is vital that I nor you skip breakfast. Many times I've tried to shower, change, get my bag ready, and then before you know it, I don't have any time left. Unfortunately, many others skip breakfast and are missing out on the most important meal of the day. I would like to speak with you today first about the negative effects of skipping breakfast. Then, I would like to go on to the positive effects when eating a healthy routine breakfast, and finally go to the fast and simple and healthy ways to prepare and have breakfast every day. I'll begin by letting you in on the negatives that coincide with skipping breakfast. In a 2011 survey by the NPD Group, it concluded that 31 million Americans on average skip breakfast every day. That is nearly 10% of our population. Also, they broke it down into age and gender groups. 29% of men in the age of 18 to 34 skip breakfast daily, as well as 19% of women in that same age group. These individuals need to be aware of the side effects of skipping breakfast. According to Dr. Siobhan Michael Jackson, ND, skipping breakfast yields certain negative effects on weight control, hormonal health, mood, memory, cognition, and physical activity. The Weight Control Information Network reported that individuals who eat breakfast are less likely to overeat throughout the day. Fasting occurs at night, and if you skip breakfast, this fasting just adds on. This can disrupt blood sugar and insulin output, which is dangerous to those with diabetes. The British Journal of Nutrition stated that not eating breakfast can reduce your energy and physical levels as well. In addition to weight control problems, skipping breakfast has been linked to mental irregularities in college students, as well as a decline in post-adolescent maturation growth. Now, lowered cognition and bad mood is also a side effect of skipping breakfast. It is advocated that children who do not eat breakfast regularly score lower on average on standardized tests, are absent more often, and are usually late to class more often. A lot of Americans, consider themselves moody people. A survey done by the BBC News Group showed that a sizable percentage of people who do not eat breakfast have worse moods compared to people that do eat breakfast regularly. Finally, not eating breakfast can bring on physical symptoms. The risk of hyperglycemia and low blood sugar is increased. This can result in conditions of shakiness, dizziness, weakness, headaches, tingling sensation, and or rapid heart rate. So, enough of the bad. Let's focus on now what breakfast can do for you. In the literature, decreased overall appetite, decreased overall food consumption, decreased body weight, improved academic performance, and improved blood sugar control is associated with eating breakfast. On the flip side, many argue that these trials that prove this information are biased, and that actually there are trials that say skipping breakfast is good. But what they don't tell you is that these trials, that show that skipping breakfast is bad, are actually usually done in animals, which, as you can see, provides little to no scientific proof. And also, concentration is seen to be greater, as well as the performance in class and the boardroom when eating a routine breakfast. In addition, breakfast routinely gives one more strength and endurance to engage in physical activity, which I can personally attest to as being someone that's very physical and active. Every morning I work out, and the days that I do not eat breakfast, My low blood sugar spikes. I feel nauseated. I want to throw up. I just want to sit down. When I do eat breakfast, I'm ready to go, feeling great, feel awesome after my workout. So now let's move on to the study that was done in Israel. They took 93 women and split them into two groups. These women were all overweight and suffered from metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome, for those of you who do not know, is a combination of high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity. All right? They took these two groups and they gave them specific diets. The first diet was a large breakfast, a medium lunch, and a small dinner. The next group, as you can probably see what's going on here now, had a small breakfast, medium lunch, and a large dinner. In this 12-week course, they saw significant improvements in both, but there was one standout. The group with the large breakfast showed the best improvements. For example, they saw great improvements in blood sugar, insulin levels, and insulin resistance, as well as their hunger scores and fullness scores were much better than the small breakfast, which just means that they, didn't seem as hungry throughout the day, and after each meal became more full, basically. So now, many of you understand that breakfast is great, but simply do not have time. You need something quick and healthy. This is no problem. The Johns Hopkins School of Public Health gives you a few good tips on how to do this. Pick 2 to 3 foods that are included in the food groups that I'm about to list off: bread, grain, milk product, fruit, and vegetable. Also, pick portable breakfast items that you can get from the grocery store, such as chopped up fruit in a container, low-fat yogurt in a container, as well as whole grain breakfast bars. Next, replace that morning coffee with an orange juice or with milk. And now, they say just wake up 15 minutes earlier. This can make all the difference, as most food can be prepared and eaten in under 15 minutes. Other breakfast ideas include making meals such as chopped fruit, cheese, and walnuts, a way to get your proper nutrients, your protein, and then on top of that, you get that sugar that you need in the morning to get yourself going. All right? So, and then another simple and quick, as well as tasty thing you can do is you can take a whole grain waffle, you toast it, you smear your peanut butter on top, and then for some extra fiber, throw on some raisins. Even throw on some extra peanuts. This is a great healthy way to get your morning started, and it tastes awesome. There are countless simple breakfast ideas that one can make and take on the road and chow down in 5 or 10 minutes. As it is clear, breakfast is an important meal, if not the most important meal of the day. The negatives associated with breakfast, as well as the positives associated with eating a routine breakfast, are significant. It is a no-brainer that everyone should eat a large and healthy breakfast. I've listed the various negative side effects with skipping breakfast, the positives associated with eating a healthy breakfast, and then finally, the quick and easy tips to maintain a healthy breakfast. You can use this information gained and change your life for the better. Now let me ask you a few questions here. Do you have a family member possibly suffering from metabolic syndrome? Do you constantly feel fatigued, maybe in work or at class? Do you find yourself moody in the morning? Think of how you can not only better your life, but as well as the lives of your friends and family by just taking this information and applying it. It's quite simple, and I'm going to use the same pitch that Nike does. I would like for you all to just do it. Okay? Thank you very much.